We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. I'm Joe, and this is still my attempt to convince Morgan that Lost is one of the greatest television shows ever written, produced, shot, acted in, and well into season 4 in episode 3, The Economist, which had to have been a confusing name, I think, at the time that the episode came out, because just not something I think you'd expect from a Lost episode title. This episode originally aired on Valentine's Day of 2008, which, as I may have mentioned last time, was a very bad day for me.
You did mention that.
But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it cryptic because we have a lot to get to. But I was not having the same kind of good time that anybody in this episode was having.
I'm pretty sure that there were people in this episode not having a good time.
I mean, the non-NPC characters.
Don't think she counts as an NPC.
She does.
She's a huge part of the plot of this episode.
She was in one episode. She's an NPC. All right. So that's how that goes. The Economist. So, broadly, what'd you think?
Great. Loved it. This was an episode where I said, like, what? Once or twice. So.
Yep. Really good stuff in this episode. Also, like, before we even get into it, something that I noticed slightly, and I think it's very slight, but, like, I think one of the things that would have been a problem on Lost were kind of continuity stuff with the actors. So, like, their weight changing or like hairstyles maybe slightly or whatever. And I feel like something looked a little bit different on Naveen Andrews, the guy that plays Saeed. I think he must have started working out a little bit before this season. I felt like he looked slightly more jacked in this episode. And I noticed at the beginning he's sitting there in the tank top, and I was like, I don't remember him looking like that at the end of season 3. And so I think he was like, I'm about to be in a tank top, and so it is time that I tended to my muscles, especially my arms.
He's been in a tank top.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's noticeable in this.
He's decided, like,
between the end of shooting season 3 and the beginning of shooting season 4, I think that Naveen Andrews was like, swole is the goal, size is the prize, it's gains a clock. All right, that's what I think Naveen Andrews said to himself between the 2 seasons.
You guys probably don't understand how triggering that phrase is for me. He's got it on a t-shirt. He's got all 3 of our children saying it all the time. Everybody that knows him, if he asks what time it is, they know it's gains a clock.
It's gains a clock.
Oh my god, it's all so right. Annoying.
Yeah, I think he probably ate a lot of protein. Think he probably cut back on the fat, and maybe a little lighter on the carbs. Went a little
Macros.
more. Yeah. Went a little more complex carbs, not so many simple
75
carbs.
hard, maybe 2 workouts a day, water only.
Probably just a lot of resistance training and walking, if I had to guess, as that's much more effective if you want to slim down. It's sustainable and fun and really good for your mental health. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into the recap because we have a lot to talk about. And
What?
And in addition to Messages in a Bottle, a kind of surprise extra addition to Messages in a Bottle. So super excited to get to that. Got a great art within the art segment for today, and we had lots of oh shit moments like Morgan was talking about in this episode. Even a couple of things that I forgot. Excited to talk about it. So take it away. There's almost no water left in that.
Mine's really far away.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry. Grab mine while I'm talking about the recap.
It better have ice in it.
It doesn't.
Because it doesn't have ice in it.
And the water in it is from
I just started with postnasal drip sinus drainage last night. I need water. All right, I filled this
thirsty.
I'm sick.
You're not sick.
Yes, I am. So it started overnight last night. Yes, I am. All right, sick. I'm going to leave Morgan to start the recap and super unprofessionally going to walk away from this podcast and get some more water for myself. And I'll bring some for Morgan too.
Well, my cup is right there.
Yes.
Thank you.
I got it.
Thank you. I appreciate you very much. gets a little sniffle, and now, it's all to hell.
It's not sniffle.
All right, so, Saeed episode. I was very happy about this being a Saeed episode because I feel like we haven't really heard much from him really since Shannon died. Like, he's kind of been, like, on his, like, grieving process, I guess. I don't really know. There's not been a ton of, like, Saeed-centric stuff. So, I was happy to get back into, his life. But instead of it being a flashback, I guess it was a flash forward. I'm going to talk about that before I talk about what's going on the island. Sorry, Joe's getting ice. Are you... Never mind. So it starts with Saeed on a golf course, beautiful golf course. He's playing by himself, and then some dude rolls up and he's like, "You're using the wrong golf club. I'd use a woodpecker or whatever." I don't know what golf club names are, but anyway, he says like, "You should use that one." And Saeed's like, "I think I'll stick with the one that I have." And the guy kind of asks him some questions. He's like, How'd you end up on this course? And the guy said, or Saeed said, "Oh, I got a pretty large settlement from Oceanic Airlines. I'm one of the Oceanic 6. So now we know there's 4. We got Hurley, Kate, Jack, Saeed. There's 2 people left. Who are they? I don't know. Who's in the casket?" The guy gets like mega uncomfortable. He's like, "Oh shit, oh, okay, well, have a good game. I'll see you later." Saeed shoots that man, leaves him dead, and walks off through the sprinklers in like the most dramatic. Like, isn't there an 80s love movie where that's how that goes down? Like the guy is leaving a football field or something, and there's like sprinklers going off, and I don't know. But anyway, he does that carrying his little bag. And then he's in a cafe. Thank you very much. He's in a cafe, and there's a pretty little blonde lady sitting at a table, and he kind of saunters up in his little Saeed swag, and he asks in German, like, how do I get to the wherever? And the lady's like, "How long are you in Berlin?" in English. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just here for my job." She's like, "What do you do?" And he says, "I'm a headhunter." And she's like, and he goes, "A corporate headhunter, don't worry." And he's like, "Why are you in Berlin?" And she says, my boss comes in like a couple times a year, and I have this pager, and if he pages me, I have to be at his side immediately. He's an economist." There it is. There's the episode title. So, anyway, in like the smoothest possible hookup scene, he asks her, he has a map, he asks her how to get to the wherever, and she's like, "Oh, it's over here, but this is a good restaurant, and you can pick me up and take me to dinner here at 7 o'clock. And slides him back the map, and I was like, oh, I would never think to do that. That shit is slick. So then, time goes by, and they have been seeing each other for a little while, and they're going out to like the opera or something like that, and they allude to like, this is our 6th or 7th date or whatever. And so she asked Saeed, like, "You said you were going to be in Berlin for 2 weeks. This is our 5th date. Why are you still here?" And he goes, what does he say? This mission is harder to complete than I thought, or whatever. And she goes, "Oh, silly me. I thought you were going to stay for me." I also forgot to mention, when he left the cafe, he like opened up some shitty burner phone and said like, "I've made contact," and then he threw it in the trash and kept walking. So we already know Saeed is on a mission with this woman. Like, she's a target, she's a mark, so they say. So they leave, come back, flash forward again. When they went to the opera, she goes like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to leave my beeper, and if tonight's the night that my boss calls, then so be it." And Saeed's like, "No, you should take it. Like, I don't want you to lose your job for me. You should bring the beeper." So flash forward, they have been canoodling, and they say I love you, and it's a whole super sweet romantic moment. And then her pager goes off, so she jumps up and she calls, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll meet you at the hotel or whatever. So she starts getting dressed. She's like, oh shit, he would call right now. And then Saeed freaks out and he goes, listen, your boss is not who he says he is. He is not an economist. You need to go to this location and you need to not tell anybody and just wait there. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he, I can't remember exactly what all goes down to get to the thing, but anyway, she ends up shooting him. She shoots him. So he's laying on the bed. She gets back on the phone and she's like, yeah, he fucking knows, and now he's not going to tell me who he's working for, so, bleh. And then Saeed, like, breaks a mirror, and then he gets the gun, and he kills her. And then he crawls over, and he's crying, and he closes her eyes, and it's so sad. Then he goes to, like, get fixed up or whatever, and you can't really see who he's talking to. And I thought, that voice sounds familiar. And then, to my horror, Ben is stitching him up. And Ben says, like, something about, don't you remember what happened last time you followed your heart instead of your gun? And don't you want to keep them safe? If you want to keep them safe, then you need to keep working. And I've got another name for you. And Saeed says, well, now they know that I'm coming. And Ben goes, good. So that's the off-island shit, which is a lot. Like, what? So on the island, Saeed has decided that, hold on, let me get myself straight here. We're still split up. We got Saeed, Jack, Kate, and all the people from the helicopter over here. And then we got Locke and crew over here. Literally everybody else. So, let me check my notes. Hold on. So Saeed basically decides that he is going to go get Charlotte. And he's confident that he can do it without any violence. And Jack's like, well, I'm going to go. And Saeed's like, last time you talked to Locke, you tried to kill him. So, like, I really don't think it's a good idea. And then Kate was like, well, I'll go. And so Saeed and Kate and Miles, right, are going to go to find Locke and them and convince Locke to give them Charlotte and bring her back. And Saeed says, if I bring you back Charlotte, he says to Frank, the captain, the pilot, he says, if I bring you back Charlotte, you have to promise to take me to the freighter. And Frank's like, aight, cool. So Miles and Jack stay back at the helicopter. Oh, and Kate is like talking to Jack before she leaves. And she says, like, how does it feel to be told you can't come? And then Jack says, oh, so what should I do? Like, wait 20 minutes and go anyway? Shots fired. So funny.
Love that.
So funny. That's so good. So he does not do that. He does stay back with Miles. So while Saeed and them are heading to go find Locke and them, Miles and Jack are back at the helicopter, and Miles is like, I want to try a little experiment. So he like MacGyvers this whole situation, and then he asks Frank for the phone. Frank's like, bitch, I'm not giving you the phone. And Miles says, I promise if John Malkovich calls, he did not say John Malkovich, but I can't remember the guy's name. Who was it? Malkowitz? Who's the person that he...
Minkowski.
Minkowski. Yeah. If Minkowski calls, I'll hang up. So he calls, and some lady answers the phone, and he's like, Miles says, okay, send the payload. So then he's like tracking the payload, and he says like, it's 100 feet out, 50 feet out, 20 feet out, whatever. And then we get to 0 feet, and it's not there. And he's like, that's very strange. And then it lands like 30 minutes later. And he's like, that's not good. what the hell? Like, something's very wrong. So, and I think at some point that Ben had said, like, you can't find this island unless I want you to find it, or you know. So there's some kind of, like, anomaly situation happening with, like, physically getting to the island. I don't know what that is yet. But, so we're, like, scientifically figuring that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Saeed and them go and they Locke and them are traipsing through the woods. They've got Ben now, and they've got Charlotte as hostages.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to find Jacob's cabin. So they come up to that big old freaky ring of salt, but there's no cabin. So then Hurley, who has seen the cabin and knows about the salt, is like, dude, like, what are we even doing? Why do we have Charlotte? Why is Ben alive? What the fuck is going on? And Locke hits him with pretty much like, because I said so. Like, I'm your dad and I said so shut up. And Hurley's pissed. So, somehow or another, Kate and Saeed figure out that they're at the barracks. So, they go to the barracks. And they find Hurley tied up in a closet. And Hurley says, like, they left me because I was pissed off because I didn't understand what they were doing. So they untie him, and then they get ambushed. So Sawyer and Kate get locked in Ben's bedroom, and then Rousseau has a gun pointed at Saeed, and it's all this big kerfuffle. And Sawyer and Kate have there was a really interesting shot there. Because Kate is, like, looking underneath the bed, and Sawyer walks in, and you just see his feet. And that's how it was when he was a kid and his dad walked in.
Yep.
And I don't understand why they did that shot.
We can talk about it.
Yeah. I was like, ugh. So, anyway, Sawyer's like, I don't understand why you want to go home so bad. Because if I remember correctly, you were going to jail. So, and Kate's like, well, how long can we sit here and play house? And Sawyer says, why don't we find out? If you don't love that man, I mean, he's doing everything he can to love you, you unlovable somebody. She needs therapy. Anyway, so they end up trading, and he gets Charlotte, the redhead. He brings her back. Kate does not come back. So Saeed is like, Jack says, like, where's Kate? And Saeed says, oh, she stayed with Sawyer. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but she ain't there. Let's see. I'm trying to think about how they got to the trade, because Kate got locked back up in that weird room that she's been locked up in before. And then I guess Saeed got put in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me look at my notes. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't think it's that important.
Well, whatever. Anyway, So also, like, Desmond and Juliet come out of nowhere. I don't know where the hell they've been the whole time, but they come up, and then Desmond's like, he's got the picture again, and he's asking Frank, he's like, where did you get this picture? Is she on the boat? You're taking me to the boat. And Frank's like, I don't really have enough fuel to take everybody everywhere, so I can take like 4 people. So Saeed is like, well, we need to take Naomi back to the boat because she deserves to go home and have proper burial. Oh, and he found a bracelet on Naomi that said, like, I'll always be with you.
RG.
RG, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Naomi, Desmond, Saeed, and Frank get in the helicopter and fly away. What did I forget? I forgot something, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the high points
Yeah, that's
So,
the important part.
yeah.
Because the episode actually ends with the Saeed Ben revelation.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
why,
I told.
that's why.
But I did it off island, on island.
I like that, breaking it up that way.
Yeah.
I think it's better that way. All right, so a lot happened in that episode.
A lot.
Before I forget about it, so let's just go ahead and talk about that that scene where Kate is lying under the bed.
I thought that was horrible.
And she sees Sawyer's feet.
Yeah.
So there's no way that was a coincidence. I haven't actually read anything about, why they would have done that. But there is no way that they staged that shot that way. They could have had him walk in anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think...
And I don't even know what the hell she was under the bed looking for.
She's just snooping. That's what Kate does. She snoops all over the place. That's what she does. I think it's... we know that kind of toward the end of season 3, so Sawyer had the situation where he he was trying to find his dad, to kill him or whatever in Australia.
Yes.
He killed that other guy.
Yes.
And he felt really bad about it.
Terrible.
Right.
Yeah, he got hoodwinked into killing that guy.
Yes. But then he between doing that and meeting Kate on the island, he had kind of gone through a kind of character arc transformation where he'd become a little bit more positive of a figure.
Good guy.
And then he got to kill his actual dad.
Yes.
So conned by Locke to do that, basically, because Anthony Cooper had to go or whatever. And then I think it's like a turning point, because if you think about it from where Kate's vantage point, Sawyer is in his dad's position, literally. So I think it's like foreshadowing, basically. So
well, I thought of it as maybe because when Sawyer's dad came in, he had just killed his mom. It was just a big danger situation. And so Kate is feeling cornered.
No, that's what I mean.
Literally cornered. But then also, Sawyer does not want to leave. And Kate wants to leave.
Yes. Just like Sawyer's dad didn't want to go anywhere, and his mom wanted to go somewhere. So it was I think it's it probably is not meant to point at something directly as much as it's meant to just evoke something. So it's
well, I didn't like it. It did evoke something, and I did not like it. Don't you tell me that Sawyer is his murdering ass daddy.
But we've talked about this before outside the context of Lost, in that, you kind of, how you grow up, you get this blueprint for how you could be from your parents. So it's or from any adults really in your life. You get this kind of blueprint for how things could be. You don't have to go that way. As a spoiler, and this will not get super personal, I promise, right? However, both of our sets of parents are divorced,
yes.
right? So then we had step parents too.
Yes.
So there was
and it's funny because we had one set of parents that didn't get married a bunch of times, and then we each had a set of parents that did get married a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So it's interesting, but you get this blueprint, right? And there's a lot of arguments that have been made about nature versus nurture and all that, and are you kind of predestined in your DNA to end up a certain way? Sawyer obviously had a really tragic upbringing, and he chose a kind of a life of crime after that, and because con artistry is a crime. He's a misfit. He's violent. He's a racist. Kind of. I mean,
he's prejudiced.
Think of the names that he gave Saeed.
Yes.
He is.
He's prejudiced for sure.
But he, I think it's just foreshadowing about violence about to happen, because violence happened the last time we saw that. Now I'm not spoiling anything for you, and I'm not saying that Sawyer violence is about to happen. But also, they then go on to have a conversation about playing house.
Yeah. He says I don't know why you're going back to prison. Here we've got a roof over our head, we've got food on the table, we've got everything we need right here. And she goes yeah, for how long? How long do you want to sit and play house?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Like,
well, because
why can't you belong there?
Because it's just these two characters clashing into each other, and this show is about these people living their traumas out, like over and over and over and over again. Like every single person is, even at this point, I think they're aware of their trauma.
They have to be.
They're aware of their patterns, but they keep living them.
Yeah.
And so Sawyer, sabotages himself as stuff starts to get better, and Kate just runs. Like, she just runs away from stuff.
Saeed keeps having to. He's the only one that's like mega respectful of dead people. He has closed the eyes of 3 dead women.
I have a note about that. Does that actually work when you close dead people's?
If rigor mortis has set in, no.
So like,
but yeah, I mean, just relax your face totally. Try to relax your face, and I mean, if you pull your eyelids down, they'll stay, not all the way, like,
Anyway, I'm not convinced that it works like that, because every time you see it on a TV, they just go like,
yeah, it's like this finger, and they just real gently.
Usually, it's a whole hand. When I see it, they'll do it like this.
Yeah, but he closed Shannon's eyes, that lady who was dating's eyes, and Naomi's eyes.
Well, Saeed has probably seen the most death of all them. Yes. So
he's directly caused plenty of death, I'm sure.
Yeah. And Saeed, speaking of living out your trauma, I mean, Saeed is living trauma out over and over again.
If Saeed tells you he loves you or has sex with you, you're gonna die within 7 days. He's like the Ring.
Yeah, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Like, so you've got Shannon.
Yeah.
This lady.
Yeah.
Nadia.
Yeah, but she's not dead though.
Who?
Nadia.
No, but she got tortured. Like,
she got tortured. Yeah.
It's just like there's something about Saeed living his life kind of in violence or whatever, that just violence begets violence. Like if that is, what's that, the live by the sword, die by the sword, kind of like you cultivate it, so I think the shot for Kate seeing Sawyer's feet, obviously that's intentional. Obviously it's meant to call you back to that, but everything about this show is about their trauma and how they just keep living it out.
Yeah. I also just want to say this here and now. I said before, we've got 4 of our 6 with Hurley, Kate, Saeed, and Jack. If fucking Ben Linus counts as one of the 6...
No, he wouldn't, babe.
Because,
he wasn't on the plane.
Well, you're right. And when Saeed and Kate were in Ben's house before they got ambushed, Saeed was using his like super sleuth eyeballs and found a hidden door.
I have a note about that too.
Yeah.
So before we get all the way into that,
well, I just mean he found like a shit ton of money in different like currencies, and then like a bunch of passports with all different names. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. And so...
but I don't know what book he pulled. I figure that's going to be your art within the art.
It's not, but the book he pulled is the Quran.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually, because they show that before you find out that it's Ben that he's helping at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. So it's actually foreshadowing, because it's in Ben's house that he pulls the... So it's...
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So just really good foreshadowing on their part. Remember, I didn't even realize it was the Quran that he pulled... Or Quran, sorry, that he pulled the... And then when I saw it on the episode, I was like, clever. Like, good. Because Lost does really well-written, deep stuff, but they do an Easter egg like nobody's business. Like, they do Easter eggs excellently. So, I want to talk about that secret door, because I love this episode for a distinctly different reason, which is that Ben Linus is my favorite character in the whole series. And so this episode tells you a lot about Ben Linus, because they go in his house and he's not there. So they're like snooping around. Do you remember any details about his house?
He still had all his medical stuff, his hospital bed with his pull-up bar and all that stuff. It was very neat and well kept. He had some weird like art on the walls, like didn't he have like African masks or something like that?
He did. He had a lot of African masks.
Yeah, which Mom, I had those in my house when I was growing up. The thing in the early 2000s for my parents was literally African. We had wallpaper borders on the top of the, like, where the ceiling meets the wall, and it was like an African safari. It was like elephants and giraffes and stuff.
Yeah.
They had African masks. It was a whole thing.
I don't think that's why for Ben. I think there's a reason that they put African masks on his wall. But there's actually other stuff on the wall, too, that's worth noting.
There was a picture. I feel like somebody stopped and looked at a picture.
There are a lot of portraits on his walls.
Yeah. Oh, of his daughter. I noticed that.
There's one or two of his daughter, but there's a lot of old-looking portraits of women.
Oh.
Just women.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Not like pictures.
They look like hand-drawn pictures of
Portraits.
his daughter. Yeah.
No, they're different women.
Oh.
So it's
I
like...
thought they were all his daughter.
No.
All those hand-drawn pictures?
I'm telling you, go watch it back. There's all kinds of different portraits of women on the wall.
Oh.
And so it's... So what does that tell? Does that mean anything to you?
He's a hoe. I'm just kidding. He's
obviously
probably,
not.
lusting after multiple different women.
Well, I think the fact that they are older portraits and they're not sexual at all.
No, they're just beautiful women.
But they're drawn portraits.
Yeah. So I mean, but how much more romantic can you be than to draw the person that you love?
I think it's because of his mother. Remember, he sees his mom in the woods as a kid, the ghost of his mother, and his mother passed, and it's like this huge integral part of his childhood.
Did
all
she
the
draw?
Photos, no, it's just it's just old. They're super old photos. None of them are new. So it's this thing, I think, for him, this connection to this thing for himself from forever ago. Women, and then he moves Juliet to the island, who is, looks similar to his mother for how he remembers her. He's got the issue with Alex, obviously, who's not actually his daughter. But
she's not?
No.
Oh.
No.
Who's her daddy?
Oh, babe, it's not. Did you think that Ben and Rousseau had Alex as a...
Yeah.
No. Because he...
She says that's your dad. Rousseau says that's your dad.
No.
Yes.
No.
Greg?
Yeah, that's not... She does not say that. Or if she says it, she's saying it sarcastically. She's like...
When she meets Danielle and Ben has got his ass whooped, she asks Danielle to help her tie Ben up, and she says, like, that's your dad. I'm like 80% sure.
No.
Greg?
No. Well, first of all, I'm going to spoil it for you. Not her dad. So she didn't say that. That's how I know that that's not her dad.
Well.
And she didn't say that, or if she said it.
Was she born on the island or off the island? She was born on the island. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
So it was one of those scientists then.
Well, why did you think that Rousseau's so pissed about at Ben about Alex?
Because he was a deadbeat dad, obviously, and left him in the damn woods. That's what I thought. I thought this whole time...
Babe, Alex grew up with Ben.
Yeah. He left Rousseau out in the woods with...
Yeah.
Yeah. Took the baby and left her in the woods.
Why would he do that?
Don't know. Because he sucks. I don't know. Because he wants to control the narrative. I don't know.
I'm 90% sure that she punches him and says that she's not your daughter. In one of her fits of rage where she knocks Ben out. I genuinely do not know how you came to this conclusion. I'm not being funny. I don't know how you came to the conclusion that Rousseau and Ben had Alex.
I mean, I thought it was a weird matchup, but you're on an island. What are you going to do,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so there's all that. But the masks thing, I think, is more important. Because we've already seen that, Ben came to the island with his dad, right?
Who sucked.
But he was not, despite what he said, he's not a native of the island.
No. He has lived most of his life on the island.
Yes, but he wasn't born there.
No.
Despite saying that he was born there.
Yeah.
But lots of, he essentially comes to where all the others are at, and eventually like takes that place over.
Yeah.
Which sounds a little bit to me like colonialism. So coming from an entirely different place and taking that place over. And
I'm like, I like it here. It's mine now.
It's mine now, right? And this white dude has decorated his house in African masks, and he lives there by himself. I think it's definitely got a colonial vibe. Not only that, but he Ben wears many masks. So he's already been Henry Gale.
Yeah, he's a liar.
Okay, Ben Linus, and then his Swiss passport, which Saeed finds behind that door. The name on the Swiss passport is, do you remember it?
Nope.
Dean Moriarty. Okay, so
Moriarty, is that an artist? Moriarty is a familiar name.
I'm going to get into it.
Okay.
Today's art within the art is actually two pieces of art, importantly, because the art within the art actually, I think, signals the theme for the whole episode. So, where you remember Moriarty is Professor Moriarty, who is the chief villain from the Sherlock Holmes novels. So, Professor Moriarty is like the only one of kind of the guys that Sherlock Holmes ran up against that he had trouble with, because the thing that Sherlock Holmes was good at was he was smarter than essentially everybody that he ran into, but not smarter than Professor Moriarty. So they're like intellectual equals, and they match up in the novels. But that's pretty important because Moriarty is deceptive and manipulative, and he kind of manipulates people in the novel. So
and he's wicked smart.
Yeah, but interestingly, there's an actual character named Dean Moriarty in another book, which is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. So it was written in the 50s, I believe, or 50s, I think.
Did Jack Kerouac write One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest also?
Good question.
What did he write besides that?
Because
I know his name, but I have not read that book.
On the Road is the main one I know. Hold on a second. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Who wrote it? Oh my God. Who wrote that?
I don't know. You're looking at the movie, aren't you?
Yeah, well. Okay, well, this sucks.
I'm sorry.
Ken Casey wrote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't know what Jack Kerouac also did, but
so Jack Kerouac wrote On the Road, which was this like seminal novel of the beatnik generation, basically. So it's like psychedelics and rebelling against the man and authority, and there's a character in there named Dean Moriarty, and books at this time were written that were like reflections of real people, and they were super thinly veiled. All right, so it would be like if somebody wrote a book, and this is not a political statement, but just a really clear parallel to what I'm talking about. All right, if somebody randomly wrote a book like this today, and they made it, and the president in the book was a reality TV star, and his name was like Drumpf or something, it just like it's so thinly veiled that you know exactly what they're talking about.
Okay, this is Trump.
So there was Dean Moriarty, even though the name is not, he's modeled after Neil Cassidy, who Neil Cassidy is this like free form, jazzy, like psychedelic, like wheeling and dealing kind of poet, like just a crazy person, right? And so Jack Kerouac writes a lot of On the Road in this free form, loosey-goosey, kind of like not planned prose. It actually was called jazz prose when he wrote it. So, funny inside joke. This is great. So Morgan has this awesome personality quirk where she doesn't care at all to get lyrics accurate about songs that she's singing.
Well,
so,
I have a magic talent of knowing like 10 seconds of like a lot of songs. I know a lot of music, and I know about 10 seconds, and that's about it. Yeah, I don't get it right a lot of the time.
And it's not like a lot of it's off, right? But if she's singing 2 lines in a song and there's 10 words between those 2 lines, 3 of them will be wrong, but just a little bit wrong. It's like, it's just not quite right. Like you hear it and you go, that's not how that goes.
Can you think of an example?
I'd have to make one up. Can you think of an example?
No.
It would be like, It would be like that song "I'm a Believer," like "Then I saw her face." It would be like, because the lyric is "Then I saw her face, now I'm a believer." Morgan's version would be "Then I saw her face, then I'm a believer." Instead
Not
of
a trace, I'm out of my mind.
exactly, I've doubt in my mind, right? So like close,
Yeah.
And so anytime she does that, I'll just walk by and go, "It's jazz lyrics," right? where she's just like kind of getting it right, but not really.
I get the gist. You
Yeah.
get the feeling, and that's what jazz is, really, is feelings, you know?
And so Jack Kerouac wrote in the same way. So I think it's not a mistake that they chose Dean Moriarty, but they could have chosen anything Moriarty, but they chose Dean Moriarty. Basically, there's not a character probably in all of literature that's less like Ben Linus than Dean Moriarty. He doesn't plan anything, even by the second. And
so does Ben like wish he was more like that, and so he's like, I'm gonna pretend.
I think there's probably some wish fulfillment there, because like he literally feels like he has to be this way, you know, like. But I think the more interesting thing is that this episode does a lot of showing us that identities are performative. So you've got Saeed, who in one moment is this like debonair corporate recruiter, right? And then literally a second later, he walks outside and he's an assassin saying like, "I've made contact," right?
Yeah.
And then
throws away that burner
throws it
phone.
away. Same thing with his girl that he meets up with. So she's this like charming assistant or whatever, and then she also is willing to shoot you or whatever at a moment's notice. Turns on a dime. And then you've got the same. You've got that happening with a couple of different characters in this episode, and it's just a way of showing you how performative everybody's sense of identity is at this point. And then thus Oceanic Six, as you've already kind of figured out, they're literally living a lie once they get back to the mainland. So they are who they are, and then they're also this whole other person.
Yeah.
So they're starting to try to show you that like their identities are splitting, essentially. So I think that's important for the remainder of the season.
I have got to know what's up with that. How the hell how are there only 6? How are there only 6? There's got to be some kind of loophole or something. I refuse to believe that all my friends are gonna die. Everybody but 6 of them. I won't be believing that.
All right. So, anything else before we get into our very extensive messages in a bottle?
I don't think so. I really liked this episode.
It was a really great episode.
I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
You know what? We haven't had a Jen and Son episode in a long time. Is the next one a Jen and Son episode?
Actually, don't know. Let me find that out.
Son is pregnant. That's a huge problem. And nobody's talking about her. Like, what is going on?
I really felt like there was more focus on them when I was first watching this.
I've heard shit about them in forever. Not since she was on that boat and killed that lady.
Yeah, I really don't get it, because I remember watching it and just thinking like they were as much of a focus as anybody else, but I guess not so much. No, the next episode is a Kate episode.
Damn.
Called Eggtown.
There's a place where we live called Booger Town. It's where Dolly Parton's from.
There is Booger Town.
Yeah, that's where Dolly Parton grew up.
It's great. All right, so let's get to our messages in a bottle.
I'm a genie in a bottle.
So we've got a lot, but first, before we get into the messages from our really regular listeners, I want to throw back for a second and make a mention that how we've done messages in a bottle, because I was really used to the YouTube videos not getting a lot of traction. Okay, so we post these in our executive producer Greg's Facebook group, Lost. And I want to get the
disproving the myths.
Disproving the unanswered questions myth.
Oh.
So he it incredibly like has a evergreen post for us to post new episodes of the podcast in.
We love it so much.
And it's really, really great. And so
That's pretty much where we go for comments, because we didn't know that people were commenting on our YouTube, unless you guys told us that you did, and then it was like the same comment a lot of times. So, which we love and we're grateful for. But we found out that we have another person that has been commenting on our YouTube, and we totally did not read the messages because we didn't know they were there. So we're really, really sorry to our fan on YouTube who we will no longer ignore. And we didn't ignore on purpose to begin with.
Yeah, I am sorry. I'm having trouble here navigating at the same time as I think something might be messed up here. I am really struggling. So I may have to, I'll start with the YouTube video. Are we sure that's the right group? I'm having trouble finding stuff, babe.
You go ahead and start reading your YouTube stuff and I'll find it.
Okay, so there was a person in the YouTube comment section who has been writing a ton of great stuff, and I didn't notice because I haven't been checking the YouTube comments.
I said that. I've already covered all that.
So the username is Astra Gallison, or Gallison, I think. You were a little off about who chooses which side in this split-up scene. You're right that Hurley, Claire, with Aaron, of course, Sawyer, Ben, Rousseau, Alex, Carl all go with Locke, but not pretty much everybody. You're also right that Kate and Juliet go with Jack. Rose and Bernard stay with Jack, although Bernard initially suggests they go with Locke, as they don't intend to leave the island anyway, but Rose strongly refuses to go with Locke with a visibly disturbed attitude about him. So that's accurate. Sun and Jen also stay with Jack's group. It's understandable to be confused about them because they don't show those two on that scene after briefly showing their reunion when the beach crew meets with the hype group at the cockpit site. After coming back to present island stuff from the Hurley flash forward scene with Charlie, Sun, and Jen aren't visible around at all. Not even a reaction shot, not even at the background. I can't even spot them in wide shots despite other main cast being all there. So their decision is not visible on screen in this episode, but it's not a spoiler as they'll pop up on the beach with Jack's group soon without explanation. Anyway, I suspect the Korean actors weren't available during the shoots of that scene for some reason. In my head, after sharing the reunion hug, they went behind some big bush to have a quickie instead of watching all the drama around Locke, Jack, Saeed, Hurley. It makes sense as they're both ecstatic to see each other after a near-death experience of Jen during the tent mission. However, jokes aside, considering Sun needs to leave. So, yeah.
Yeah, she needs to GTFO. Yeah, I can't find it either. I can't find... No, that's just a screenshot of me going like, look at how terrible I look in this screenshot. Yeah.
Wow, Greg, did we get deleted?
Greg, did we get kicked off your page, my friend?
Surely not. It's got it as listed as our group here.
Yeah. I don't know. We never post on the Lost Together page. It just goes to Greg's group. We're not tech savvy, and we don't really know what we're doing. So.
Yeah, I wonder if I...
Search Lost Together.
I did. We may just edit this part of us searching out. Yeah, I'm not...
Greg!
I'll tell you what, let me look through my notifications real quick, because I know that at some point 2 weeks ago, somebody will have commented. Man, this is crazy. We are really not tech savvy, and we're really sorry for how sloppy this is. But we never claimed we never claimed to be professionals. We're very proud of our amateur status as podcasters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said it before. We're just doing this for fun. Like, this isn't gonna ever be anything or go anywhere except exist eternally online. So, maybe when our kids are old enough to hear us talk the way we're talking, they can go find videos of me and you being young and cute and talking about a show,
Yeah, that would be great. Well, anyway, I can't find it. So we will have to do messages in a bottle at a different time.
Sorry,
Once
guys.
I figure this stuff out. Sorry. But if anybody, I will go and check. I guess I could go and check the YouTube comment section real quick.
Yeah.
But
because every now and then, somebody will post the same comment on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, that's correct. So let's get to. I've got the volume turned down because I have some good sense. So Greg did say 10 days ago, Morgan, yes, that was Walt. Won't spoil if he's alive or dead, but it's important this be addressed given what's coming. We do find out a little later on why Faraday was crying, but do you agree that the actor, who's perfect in every other scene, along with Terry O'Quinn, is a terrible crier?
I think that pretty much everybody is a terrible crier. Terrible. But what's worse is people who are bad fake laughers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, this is completely off topic, but The Greatest Showman, the movie The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman and Zendaya's in it and a bunch of them. In the first 5 minutes of the movie, you see young Hugh Jackman and his young, what's going to later be his wife, and they have a cute little bonding moment. It's the worst fake laugh. It makes me almost not want to watch the movie, and it's our kids' hyperfixation right now.
Yeah, they go through. By the way, I've just got an update about the Facebook group. So, because somebody commented underneath Greg's comment and said, "Hi, Greg, what happened to the Facebook group? All your posts and all your groups are gone, and there's no sign of your profile anywhere."
Greg!
Greg says, "I've tried over and over to comment here, but YouTube keeps deleting my words. Facebook removed me for posting a link to the Lost Wiki because of their AI is broken. I don't know what to do other than appeal. I'm so sorry to everyone."
No!
I know all your groups no longer have an admin. Hopefully the appeal works, but this happened to me too when I posted a link to the wiki.
Oh,
all
Greg.
because the Facebook AI doesn't work properly. No one did anything wrong, and now I've been cut off from my closest friends too, not just the groups, which are everything to me. Greg, listen, so does that mean you can't make a Facebook profile at all? Because I can make a Facebook group and make you an admin in the Facebook group if that's something that would be useful.
Yeah, but man, I know you worked so hard on that and built that up. That sucks.
Yeah, my goodness, that is terrible.
Should we go? We can go fight Mark Zuckerberg for you if you want.
Yeah, we're a lot closer to Mark Zuckerberg than you are, and despite him doing jujitsu or whatever, okay, I lift,
I'm gonna
which
spit
is all that
in his sweet baby rays.
I'm gonna crush him. I will crush him into dust.
Protein.
All right? I'll eat some protein and then I'll go.
And for legal reasons, Mark Zuckerberg, if you're watching this, we're joking.
JK, Mark Zuckerberg.
We're just kidding.
Anyway, that sucks. I hope that you can continue to comment on the in the YouTube comment section because I'm a part of a couple of lost groups, but Greg's was the superior one by.
I didn't ever get to really peruse it because I didn't want to spoil stuff for myself. So.
All right. Well, I'm really glad that because I was briefly worried that maybe we just got blocked or something. Okay, I'm at least relieved that we didn't get kicked out. So.
Greg, don't be mad at us, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
All our friends from our Lost group, please don't be mad at us.
So I'll tell you what, Greg. I actually have. I quit giving it out because I don't think anybody used it, but we do have an email address attached to the show, which is losttogetherpodcast@gmail.com. So shoot me an email and we can try to find some way to get this remedied. There's got to be some way. I know you appealed it, but we'll find a workaround because I've got total dipshits that I know that do workarounds for stuff all the time when it comes to Facebook. So we will figure something out.
We're not tech savvy, but we're good planners, and he's an excellent executor, not of people, but of ideas.
I'm an excellent executor. I'm an excellent planner, and we will get this taken care of. So I'm appealing to everybody to help us out with the Greg situation because our executive producer has been wronged by Facebook, the filthy tech giant.
Hashtag lost but found.
Hashtag lost but found. All right. So, anything we need to add here before we move on?
No.
All right. Then I guess for all of us here at the Lost Together podcast and for our executive producer, Greg, we will see you in another life.